if there's a point that I want to get across, is this. If this election is about the past, Republicans will fail. If this election is about the future, Democrats will fail. And the one thing while you're out there on the street knocking on doors, talking on telephones, and let me assure you, Brian and I, the governor, everybody that's here in this room that's running for office, so much appreciates your hard work and effort. By the way, I should mention, this is a brand new system here. Boy, does it work well. Money well spent. Congratulations. We really need to send a message. The one thing we can't do is afford. We cannot afford what the Democrats are bringing to America. We absolutely cannot afford it. We cannot afford the $683 billion tax increase that they tried to push through this legislative session. We can't afford it. It's killing jobs. It's killing the economy. We can't afford the size of the government that they want. And it is incredible. Let me just tell you a quick story. We had a bill in Congress, and it was a VETS bill. It had over 130 earmarks in this piece of legislation. Tens of billions of dollars in this that have nothing to do with veterans' care or their concerns. So there was an amendment on there that would remove every one of these earmarks. And the sad part about it is that there was only 40 people that voted against that amendment. Out of 435 members of Congress, only 40 people voted to get rid of that amendment. You know, in Congress, over the last 2 years, I have voted against every earmark, every single earmark that has come up for a vote. There is only 16 members of Congress that have voted against every single earmark that have come before it, that has come before Congress. And I proudly stand before you as being one of those 16. But I'll tell you, talking about what we can't afford their taxes, we can't afford their government, we can't afford their litigation and the fact that they want to make trial lawyers rich. We can't afford that here in this country. We can't afford their regulations. They're getting into these small businesses. They're starting to run small businesses. This country cannot afford the Democrats' vision of what they want to do to these small businesses. We simply can't afford that. We can't afford what they're doing to our families. And you can see that at all levels, especially the Supreme Court of California in their recent ruling on the families. And as difficult as it is in this country with the problems that we have, and we see the courts tearing apart the families. And I think that's something that we need to, as volunteers and as members of this party, keep a close eye on, because what's happening in California, I think, is going to spread across the rest of the country. But I think we really need to watch that. We can't afford what the Democrats are doing to our families. We can't afford what the Democrats are doing to this economy. We can't afford what these Democrats are doing to our safety and our defense. These are issues that I think are critically important to everybody here in this room. I want to tell you that we recessed for the month of August for the next 5 weeks last Friday. And my colleagues and myself, I'll be going back this week, have continued to stay on the floor and talk about the #1 issues that I think is facing the American people today, and that's the price of energy and the price of the price. As long as we continue going throughout this week, I'm slated to be on the floor with no lights, with no mic, no mic, probably no air conditioning, and we're going to talk about what's important to the American people, the fact that this economy is struggling because we don't have an energy policy here in this country. I talked to several gentlemen around here. When I go down there, I'm going down there with a tire gauge. And their idea of an energy policy is a tire gauge. Anyway, and to stress the point about how much it's hurting this country, I had spent some time up in Alaska. Went up to ANWR, got an opportunity to look at Prudhoe Bay and the opportunities that we have in this country of coming up and getting off of foreign oil with the amount of energy that we have here in this country. And I know you don't want to listen to me, but let me just make one point on our energy policy here in this country. If we do everything we can to conserve, I think it takes 3 parts: conservation, renewable energy, and our own drilling. if we do everything we can to conserve energy here in this country, if we meet all of our goals for renewables, and that's 15% by the year 2020, I think the state is 20% by 2020, if we meet those goals, and we conserve, by the year 2030, we're going to need an additional 10 million barrels of oil. With all of that, we're going to still need an additional 10 million barrels of oil. And it's time for us to put together an energy policy in this country that touches all three of those issues, make sure that we have the right to address our own energy problems and have access to the shale, to offshore, to ANWR, and put together an energy policy that works for America. I want to thank everyone for being here this evening. It's an absolute pleasure to be standing here in front of you and serving as your member of the United States Congress. And let me just ask you, because I don't believe I can walk away without asking you, but please, I need your vote in this primary and in the general election. Thank you so much.